Welcome to the Point Second Podcast. My name is James Keeley. With me is... All right, enough of this shit. Back to the show, Sammy. With me, as always, is Sammy Schaefer. Back from his trip.
I'm back.
We have a lot to talk about, Sammy.
I'm excited.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're alive. With whoever... Faye was taking care of you. She did a welfare check, sent me a picture, said all is well, Sammy's in good hands. And you were in the background. She's like, he's doing great. And you're like...
Yeah, I wasn't doing great.
I'm like, is he doing great?
I was
Faye?
alive, yeah.
He doesn't look like he's doing great. We have a lot to talk about. This is episode 44, available Tuesday, January 30th, probably Monday tonight. Mixing it up. We got like 5 more episodes left, 4 more episodes, something like that.
That's sad now that you say that.
I know, but we're getting there. We're going to do season 2. We'll probably do something in the middle of the summer, and we got to do some March Madness.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're going to get you what you need. We're going to get you your PTP fix.
Nice.
And I know you like a fix. Sammy, what's on the show?
We've got game day drinks. The Super Bowl is set, and the very dark side of the ring.
Are these game day drinks?
Sammy, it's time for everybody's favorite drinking game. And these game day drinks.
Nice.
I wanted to start it off like with a drink.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't tell me much about your trip.
No.
And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. So let's have a beer, and I can't wait to hear about everything.
All right. I'm excited.
All right, so what do we got today?
Well, we've got Bell's Brewery out of Comstock, Michigan. The beer is called No Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought it was no, because isn't that like what they say? Like, yeah, no. Like, but it looks like no, yeah.
I agree. I say yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Because it's the tagline is just a really nice beer, and it's got all the little taglines behind it that you say in the Midwest, like just gonna sneak past you.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So it's like a real passive aggressive beer, apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a passive aggressive Midwesterner, this is probably the beer for you.
Yeah. It's like, are you sure you want another beer?
Yeah.
Like, that's real passive aggressive.
4.5%. So not too strong, not too light.
Don't you think you've had enough?
Yeah.
All right. The color's pretty good.
Yeah,
It looks pretty light. It's what is it? A golden ale?
I couldn't even find it on
it's
the
a
can.
golden ale. It's on the bottom.
Oh, is it?
Or a lock.
Oh, golden ale. You're right.
Golden ale.
Easy drinking golden ale.
All right. The color's good. I got it in the Jackie glass here. You ready?
Yeah.
Back to it. You could drink again.
Thank you. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I smelled some citrusy to it, but I don't taste much.
No.
I think like tagline said, it's just a easy drinking golden ale.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, pretty light. All right. Damn, you gave this a 6.9.
Close, 7.2.
Oh, very good.
Very close. I think it's an easy beer, but I could drink this the whole game.
All day long.
All day.
This was nice and easy.
And I think I actually said 6.9 for you.
7.1.
Nice.
So I think
you beat me by like 1, I think
you won. No.
No, we both said 6.9, but I actually said 7.2. You said 7.1.
That's right.
So you beat me by 1 point.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean it is. You could drink this the entire game, and you'll feel drunk at the end, but it won't be plastered.
Yeah, I like Bell's. I brought my father-in-law Bell's
Yeah.
in Petoskey, Michigan, and I said, "Hey, can I marry your daughter?" He's like, "Yeah, you're good." He's a good guy.
He's like, yeah, no.
He's like, no, we've had enough of you. No amount of Bell's Oberon is going to get you out of this one. We'd like you to leave. So they've kept me around for a little while.
Yeah.
3 granddaughters later, I'm not going anywhere.
You're in there.
You can't kick me out,
In for life.
right? Yeah, this is good. This is game day drink,
Yeah,
Sam.
for sure. I like it.
I like it. Normally we go a little over in these segments, but I'm dying to hear what in the hell you got into. All right. Nice job, Bell's Oberon. But you have a story, though. Before we're done with the segment, you said at the nudist camp.
Yeah, so during sound check, I said at the nudist camp before I was a member, they used to play a game called Who's in My Mouth.
Who's in my mouth?
Yep. And
Okay.
that's where everyone sits in a circle. They turn out the lights, blindfold yourself, and then somebody will go and put a part of their body in another person's mouth, and that person has to decide and guess who it was.
Okay. I didn't think you were going there. I thought that was going to be like,
No, it's everything about the name.
So should we edit this segment now?
We can cut it if you want to. I mean, I didn't say anything too. We could put was it a bill disclaimer?
Do you like the nice wholesome story I talk about buying a future father-in-law a beer and then you go with that story?
I don't know why you thought my story was going to go any other direction.
Because I thought like, oh, okay, it's a cheeky name, but nothing bad's gonna come out of this. I thought this was more of a nudist colony and not like a swingers.
It is.
Fiesta.
I mean, but like every type of party, there is a faction of swingers or degenerates or partiers, and
I can't believe how many swingers like I've heard about that live in my community.
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And I can guarantee you right now, everyone watching, if you don't think you have any swinger friends, you're wrong.
Right?
Someone in your circle, some couple in your circle are swingers and they never told you. And it might be you.
That's crazy. And people are like, "Oh, you found us." Shut up, Sam.
No, it's just more. It's popular than everyone thinks.
I don't know what to do about this segment now.
We should edit it.
No,
No,
but I got a feeling things are gonna get worse. So, sorry, Bill.
let it ride.
Let her rip. Okay, thanks, Bells. Game day drinks. So, like, men and women play this game? Like, like, a guy will sit there and be like, "Arr,"
Yep.
and then another guy is,
It could be anybody.
it could be anything.
It could be anything.
It could be a man or woman testing you with something.
I mean, house rules might change it if you're at somebody else's, place. Maybe they make certain rules, but for the most part, I heard it was anything goes.
You heard.
I never actually played, and this nudist camp I go to used to be pretty. It's tame now, but it used to be real wild. A lot of strippers and orgies used to go there. Happen there, I should say. I saw some of it, but it's tame now.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Make sure we don't mix up glasses.
I'll stay with my can.
All right. We got to recap, buddy. Real quick. Episode 43 was a lot of fun, but there's still no news about the 3 Chiefs fans who froze to death outside their friend's party. Mm-hmm. One of the deceased fans' girlfriends said he wasn't into drugs very much. He was always like, he's not that into drugs. Yeah. And he was murdered. And a lot of the families think, like, foul play was suspected. The police say there's no evidence of foul play.
I mean, I think when that toxicology report comes back, that's what you're going to have to, make a decision there.
You don't want to be callous and joke about this because it's a tragedy.
It is tragic, yeah.
But
the circumstances are weird.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't comment on it.
But there were 3 Chiefs fans. I mean, they lost their lives. Mm-hmm. But their team's in the Super Bowl now, and they are going to miss it.
Ultimate sacrifice.
They're all...
That means every year 3 Chiefs fans have to freeze to death.
Jesus, that's pretty good. Somebody is like,
dude,
well,
who's doing it this year,
we're
guys?
Good. The Chiefs haven't said anything about that either. They should be like,
Yeah, not even like a memorandum or something, right?
Yeah.
I guess you shouldn't. Especially if it's like murder. You don't want to even comment on it.
Yeah. And then we got a little bit of talk, a little bit of chatter about old Hugh Hefner being a very broken, gross old man.
It's like, are you really surprised?
I mean, that wife has a looker.
Yeah.
So, but we'll talk more about people that have sold out. There's stuff to talk about later in the show. Yeah. But what I want to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
From your trip. Mm-hmm. How did it go?
It was wild.
Yeah.
Okay? It was intense. It wasn't the most intense experience which is good. I didn't want it to be over the top for my first time. So I wasn't I didn't meet the devil in my dreams or anything like that. But it was wild. I laughed, I cried, kind of came to terms with some things, saw some real cool visions.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I can tell you, first off, you have definitely influenced me, because when I finally came down, mm-hmm. the first thing I did was text my mom because she was worried about me, and the second thing I did was check the score of the game. That was the second thing I did when I could actually turn my phone on.
My man.
But before that, I tried to. I'm like, these aren't thumbs, and I'm like, I'm not ready to check the score of the game yet.
How long from beginning? So you eat it, right? It's an edible.
It was a tea.
It's a tea.
So we did it in a tea because it was like a lemon-based tea, which apparently makes it react faster. Not more intense, but it just hits faster in your system.
Okay.
We drank the tea at noon.
Okay.
And I think I was home. I think I left halftime in the second game, whatever time that was. When I finally went home.
So like 7 p.m. ish.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I wasn't tripping the whole time, but it took a good 20 minutes to kick in, and then it was 4 hours, 4 hours of actually letting the medicine. They call it medicine. By the way. They don't call it drugs. They call it medicine.
Was it more than 2 people, or were there
No, it was
two
just
people
of us.
there? Okay,
There's just 2 of us.
gotcha. Yeah, I got the welfare check on you. Everything
you
seemed
did.
fine. And then you're like, you texted me. You're like, hey man, I'm good. I'm like, great. I'm glad it all went well.
Yeah.
Back to business.
Back to business.
And then I told you I hit some fucking ridiculous 40-to-1 shot and a 30-to-1 shot.
Nice.
Made enormous money.
Yeah.
I wish I had posted it. Oops.
Maybe we could put it up here.
Jameson Williams to score the first touchdown, 30-to-1, and then Jameson Williams to score 2 touchdowns, and I hit it the last play, pretty much 40-to-1. So I won about $5,000,
That is fantastic.
5,500. We're gonna talk about.
Not to brag.
I did pretty well. Well, I needed that. I was getting my butt kicked a few times.
You did lose some. You lost some bets over this season.
I did.
So you definitely needed some of that back.
Yeah, and we put some money into the show too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've made some swag. We've given out a lot of shirts. We've given out some money. We've had a good time.
Yeah.
The views are dropping. I don't know why. Where are you people?
Did we get boring all of a sudden?
Do we get boring? Is this too much to ask?
I've heard some really good things about the last few episodes, so I don't know why it would be dropping.
I've gotten so many nice compliments.
Yeah.
Dave Bush, Ray Stack, my brother, Liz Stack.
Brett was texting. It was a good episode.
It's always great.
I mean, I guess we whittled out some fans. Maybe we got so good our haters stopped watching.
Maybe.
Because they're like, I got nothing bad to say, so I got to find a new podcast.
These rascals are too good. Too good. So, I'm going to rate this. I'm going to rate your trip.
Okay.
I think you gave this trip
Okay. Wasn't expecting this. I like it.
an 8.9.
Yeah, I'd say right there, 8.99 for sure.
Yeah, it seems like you had a good experience.
I mean, honestly, I felt really relaxed. I think I was really tense, got some anger issues out of me, and I felt really good when I got home. Just sat on the couch with my dog, and it was good. I recommend it.
I'll never do it, but
I mean, look, shrooms aren't for everybody, but the whole thing, just spending some time like in your own thoughts without the whole process kind of takes you away from all the distractions that don't allow you to think through some of your problems.
yeah.
And any way you can find a way to do that, doesn't have to be on drugs, but I do recommend it.
Is this your first beer post thing, or did you have a couple last night?
Nope.
Okay.
I ate more than I just ate for like 2 hours straight.
Did you get all this stuff so you had a lot of restrictions? We talked about that in the last episode. There was no bad food, no sex, no self-sex, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So after that, was it just a cheeseburger in one hand and your dong in the other one?
You know what? It was funny. I got home and I got that text. It's like, you're officially allowed to masturbate. And I was like, I'm too tired. I'm good.
I love that you said that when you were home.
Yeah, of
It's like,
course.
officially, when you get home, get the hell out of my house, and then treat yourself like an amusement park, you pervert.
That's that I have not released that yet. I haven't
No.
released the Kraken yet.
Oh wow, okay. We're rubbing legs under this table. Maybe I need to get away from you. So good. Well, I'm glad it was good. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah.
That's your thing. Never do it again while we're in season.
Okay.
So you don't
I'll save it for the summers.
save it for the summer. We're cool for the summer. And are you still retired from peeling? Peeling your clothes
From
off.
peeling, I love that. From peeling. Yeah, I still MC, but I'm done dancing.
All
I'm
right.
gonna be in Iowa this Friday, but I'm not dancing.
Just that dancing. Just like
Done.
show boy. I'm a show boy.
I'm just all microphone work now.
That's the gayest name ever. Show boy.
Go boy.
Showgirl is like, oh, ooh la la. Showboy is very like,
Yeah.
he's got like a pink scarf on
Up there with
Showboy.
It's like up there with soy boy.
Yeah, us, that's what we were called. For what? Doing a sports show? Winning people money? Jeez. All right, well, cheers. That's a damn good beer.
Yeah.
I'm drinking that.
It's a really nice beer.
It's a really nice beer.
It's a really nice beer.
I'm kind of thirsty for another one. You want to do something else?
Ooh, we got more.
We got more.
Let's do it.
Are these more game day drinks?
Sammy, it's time for more of everybody's favorite drinking game.
Yeah.
Are these more game day drinks? What do we have lined up?
All right. So we are from Old Nation Brewing Company, which is in Williamston, Michigan. Back another Michigander beer. This is a Boss Tweed Double IPA.
And you just found out what IPA stands for.
Yeah, I had no idea that IPA was India Pale Ale.
India Pale Ale.
Yeah.
So there's instructions on this can.
Yeah, which, I don't really like when a beer comes with instructions, but apparently there's sediment in the can, so you have to roll it before you pour it.
I love anything with like extra work. I love extra work.
I know you better
Put
than
me,
I don't.
put me to work, Old Nation Brewing Company. Or just let me crack it.
Was there any sediment in there?
I didn't see. I didn't pour the whole thing.
I don't
This looks
see it,
almost
man.
like orange.
Yeah.
But what's the alcohol in
This is 9.3%.
Okay.
This is a sturdy beer.
So are you an IPA guy?
I'm not really a beer guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't watch football or drink beer, but the reason I'm doing a football beer podcast.
on here. Friends and guests of the show, Cindy and Jackie are IPA fans.
Okay.
So I'll have to let them know if this is any good. 9.3% though.
Feel
Pretty good. All right. So let's
All right.
have more. Like we have to talk about Vince McMahon later. So this is a good episode to have a couple drinks.
Mm-hmm.
What is that at the end there?
I can't tell. I mean, it lists everything. It says wheat, oat, Vienna, Magnum, Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic. Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic. It must be the Azaka. That's got to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I don't think you loved it. I think you gave this a 6.5.
6.4.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, it's a game day drink to me, but I don't, there's something about that aftertaste. It's not bad.
There was something at the end there, right?
But I actually think you like this one a little bit more because I know you like a heavier beer. I think you gave it a 7.1.
6.7.
Ah, you didn't like it as much. Okay.
It's good. It's not great. I don't love IPAs. I'm more of a lager guy
Okay.
or a golden ale. But I like it better than like a stout or something like that.
I mean, it's flavorful. It's definitely bold. You're gonna get drunk off for a couple of these.
9.3%. You're more than doubling the No Yeah,
Yeah.
from Bell's Brewery.
Yeah, no.
The No Yeah
I don't
No
know which one it is.
No Yeah. You remember when we did the segment of the Yeah No and it was really cute, and then you were like, "Hey, you know what we do at the swingers thing?
I always bring everything way down.
Blindfolded sex assault."
I bring everything down to my level.
Hey, we're all fascinated.
Thank God.
I think it was a couple people that were like, "Wait a second, I've watched like 40 episodes, and Sam really was a stripper," and I'm like, "Are we not being clear about this?
Maybe they think it's just part of the act, but no.
Maybe they think it's part of the act."
Yeah. Former stripper.
Former, I mean, he's been retired for 11 days.
11 days. Let me
Gang.
tell you, retirement is brutal.
I do love that your twin brother busted you on that, and you're like, "I'm retired," and he's like, "Bullshit."
He was right. There was a period of like a year where I'd retire and then go back on the road and retire.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say no to the money, but no, I'm done. I'm just done with it.
Okay.
But game day drink.
Yeah. Game day drink. Nicely done. Boss Tweed. You know who Boss Tweed was?
No,
He was
I
a
do know that. Yeah, I should know that. It sounds familiar.
very corrupt politician in the 19th century in New York City.
Okay.
Very like always fixed elections.
Nice. Sounds like a good guy.
And he was showcased kind of in Gangs of New York,
Okay.
a movie that you have not seen.
No.
Because you are more of a Daniel Stern fan than a Daniel Day-Lewis fan.
Hey, I know talent when I see it.
Daniel Day-Lewis is so good in Gangs of New York.
He is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Okay. But when Gangs of New York was being filmed, I just hated DiCaprio. I don't know what, because DiCaprio's in that, right?
DiCaprio's in it.
And I couldn't stand DiCaprio for a while when I was younger. I'm like, I'm not watching any of his stuff. And
Yeah.
I missed out. I really do need to see it.
He's pretty good. DiCaprio's pretty good in it, but and he holds up next across from Daniel Day-Lewis, who is so good as William Cutting, or Bill the Butcher, as his character's nickname.
That'd be a good one.
And he's a butcher in there. He actually studied. He took an apprenticeship as a butcher.
Oh, wow.
He does all this stuff. Like when he did Last of the Mohicans, he learned he was he did a lot of classes, and he did a lot of like study on the character and how it would be to live like that in that era.
Oh, wow.
And as like a Native American, but he's a fascinating guy. He takes his job very seriously.
I've heard he really gets into his roles. Like,
Yeah.
immerses himself into the role.
When he played Lincoln, he was Lincoln the whole time on a cell phone. Lincoln.
That sounds about right.
Lincoln
That sounds
here.
accurate to me.
And that's got to be exhausting, like to deal with people like that.
Yeah.
Like there was a documentary on Jim Carrey where he played Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's got Jim and Andy, and it's good.
It is good.
But the director of the movie, Milos Forman, was like, "You're killing me.
Yeah.
I cannot handle you." And he's like, "Thank you very much. I'm Andy Kaufman. Thank you." Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good documentary, but I couldn't imagine that. Look what it does to some actors. Look what happened to Joker. What's his name? Heath Ledger.
Ledger.
I mean, that led him right off the edge doing that.
Yeah, and he said he locked himself in a hotel room, like drew the shades for like a month,
It was something like that.
and he's like sketched out. He like got into the mind of the Joker, and he like had notebooks and everything, and kind of went off the rails a little bit. And then
Yeah.
he was doing drugs on top of it. The Joker's got to be a little bit of a habit.
Yeah.
Was the Joker at your drug party the other day?
I wish. That would have been awesome.
You do not want to get like out of your mind with the Joker there.
That'd be bad.
He's just gonna be a dick.
Yeah, I'd end up in jail.
Yeah, you know he's gonna like he's just gonna cause trouble. He's not gonna be like, hey, you all right? He's gonna
He's not gonna help me on my journey. He's not gonna like hold my hand and help me through it. No,
Yeah.
He's gonna lead me down the wrong path.
the gist of it, working out your anger issues, and he's gonna be doing the why so serious all in your face.
I wake up and I'm just robbing a bank.
Cloud mask on. Yeah. So all right, we got another one.
Yeah.
Two.
Two
We haven't even
successful
talked football yet.
No.
Let's talk football. But good job, Old Nation Brewing Company, and I'm glad you don't have any more stories to ruin this segment. What's in my mouth? Wow. I've been listening to a lot of The Cure lately, Sam. You like The Cure?
No.
You don't like The
They're
Cure?
good, but they're not like my favorite band.
They're man, they can write a song about heartache like no other.
That's true. I'll give them credit. They're talented.
The Cure's good. We went to a concert, me and a bunch of the boys, and Liz was there, and there was this group, these girls. Liz is gonna be like, "You got the story wrong," but they hold up a sign that play "Friday I'm in Love," which is like their worst song.
Yeah.
Friday I'm in Love. Friday I'm in Love. They didn't play Friday I'm in Love. We walked out. We saw them, and they're like rolling on the ground in a fist fight.
The girls were.
Yeah, I think that's right, Liz? She's gonna call me as soon as she hears this. But it's like, play that love song. They didn't play it.
How dare you?
All right, let's talk football, Sammy. What do we have here?
All right, first game: Kansas City Chiefs at Baltimore Ravens. We had the over at 44 on this game.
And what was the final score?
Chiefs 17-10.
Yeah, that was the halftime score.
Yeah.
It was 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. I'm like, easy money.
Yeah.
When do I start peeling off them hundreds? Horrible. But this was Sammy's pick.
Yeah.
What'd you have there?
Was this Sammy's pick?
Yeah.
I thought I had Detroit.
Did you have Detroit?
Yeah, me and you had Detroit.
We had Detroit.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. But spoiler alert, we did okay.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I think he took the Chiefs last game. That's what it was.
Probably, yeah.
So the over didn't hit. I had two more props though. What do we have there?
First up was Lamar Jackson over 210.5 passing yards.
Yeah, and he hit like 260. That
Yeah.
was perfect.
Huge.
And then one more. What do we have?
Zay Flowers over 44.5.
And he had 5 catches for 115 and a touchdown.
Okay.
More than doubled it.
Nice.
So we went 2-1 on that.
Nice.
I also looked at Odell Beckham Jr. over 20 and a half yards. Didn't pull the trigger. He had 3 receptions for 22 yards. So he just got it by a yard and a half.
Nice.
So yeah, we did all right in that one. That's stupid over. I didn't want to take the Chiefs. I felt Baltimore was the superior team, and the Chiefs just came in and they did their thing. Got a couple of bad calls against Baltimore, but not enough. Lamar Jackson just didn't have a good game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs played better. It's I want to make this a conspiracy about Taylor Swift, and they definitely want her there.
They do. I mean, I forgot the number. There's already a number on how much money she brought the NFL. It's millions, like 300 million or something.
Dude, she's on every other song is her.
Yeah.
She's a juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Even if it's not a conspiracy, I would take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's truly like, okay, she's dating a football player and she's at every game, yeah, put her on the screen.
This worked out so perfectly for the NFL.
Yeah, it did.
They get this relationship. She's on the field. She's
Yeah.
hugging Kelsey. They're kissing on the mouth.
Can't beat it.
I mean, it was everything they wanted.
Did you see they're talking about her schedule? Because she's in Japan that week. for
Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're saying I think her concert, her last show was like Saturday night, and there's like betting if she can make it to the Super Bowl in time.
She will 1,000,000% be there.
I mean, it's not like it's an easy flight. It's like an 18-hour flight.
These celebrities, They like teleport. Trust me, they're teleporting.
She's probably gonna like rent a supersonic jet and be there in like 4 hours.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine. All of these. I fly like to Florida, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna crash. They fly everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice not to have catastrophic thinking constantly in your brain.
Yeah. Right.
So, be like, yeah, I'm going. Oh, I'm playing in Japan, but I'll be back. I'll sleep on the plane, and then I'll definitely 1,000% be at the Super Bowl. There's no way. So you got to fly there.
I mean, she doesn't even have to go through like TSA. She goes through her own private little entrance to her own private plane. It'll be fine.
There's some Illuminati like backdoor to the world, and I'm sure they have some sort of underground rocket that can get her here in an hour. Like, they're fine.
She just catapult her.
She's part of that thing. She's part of the Illuminati. That's some Jesse Ventura for you.
Nice.
All right. So the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
All right.
Who are they playing? What is the next game?
Detroit Lions at San Francisco 49ers was the second game, and we took the Lions +7.
Yeah. The Lions were killing it.
Mm-hmm.
They were absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
And they did something very Lionsy.
Yeah.
They blew it.
I mean, like, I think we all knew that the San Francisco was coming back in that half.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was no doubt about it that they were going to be a huge comeback. I'm sorry. Huge comeback. So you couldn't cut them out. I knew it was going to be a game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen.
The final was San Francisco 34, Detroit 31.
Yeah.
Really bad.
But, you know, I mean, we all knew Detroit was going to fall out somehow. They were never going to make the Super Bowl. They were close. Don't get me wrong.
Dude, they were there.
I'm really impressed at how well they did. They made it a lot farther than I expected, but I had no faith they were going to go the whole way.
They had some meathead coaching plays. They kept going for it when they had fairly makeable field goals.
Yeah.
And they lost by 3, and they didn't take those 6 points. It was the difference in the game.
I know, but you went into the half, what was it, up 17 or something like that, right?
Yeah, 17.
I think they were up 17, so one field goal, yeah, you're right, but they just dropped the ball.
Yeah, it was 24-7 at half, and they had all the momentum. They didn't score a point in the third quarter, and San Francisco scored 17 to tie it up, and then San Francisco scored 10 in the fourth, and Detroit got some BS like last second touchdown. Jameson Williams to win me my 49.
Nice. That's all that matters. That's all we care about. They covered the points, and they and you got your bet.
I got it. So we had Lions +7. That hit. Boom. And that was Sammy's pick.
Yeah.
And then what else? I took one more prop there.
Yeah, Jameson Williams over 27.5 receiving yards.
And he had 2 receptions for how many yards?
25.
25. Just missed it. But the son of a bitch had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I won him first, and then I won the 2 touchdowns.
Man, if he would have hit all the trifecta for you, that would have been
a delicious score on that one. Yeah.
After these 2 games, though, Twitter is just all about NFL's rigged. I mean, that's all Twitter was, and it's funny because they're not very good conspiracy theorists, but everybody just swears the NFL is rigged after this weekend.
Yeah, and I was at my kid's Rowan's basketball game, and I asked one of the guys. It's like the Parks Districts. I'm like, who's going to win the Super Bowl? Or one of the people that we were there with asked, and he's like, oh, it's already been predetermined. There was a commercial, and it said the Ravens and the 49ers. I'm like, really?
Yeah, well, that didn't happen.
No. And it's just like no one calls these people out for their stupid nonsense.
Well, and I was laughing because I don't remember who the players were, but San Francisco had that deep throw and it bounced off the defender's face mask and he grabbed. That's not scripted. You cannot script that.
No.
And someone's like, "This is so scripted." Like you couldn't do that again in 100 games. There's no way.
Those are people that have never really played a sport at a high level, or played a sport against somebody who's insanely good.
Yeah,
because these guys are incredible. They're special.
They're the top 1% of football.
Yeah, I mean they're just built like machines, and they're crazy. They're crazy talented athletes. So we had one more bet that we did not take. It was Jahmyr Gibbs rushing over 48.5 and receiving over 22.5, and he rushed 12 for 45, so that did not hit. And the receiving, he only got 3 catches for 11 yards, so that didn't hit. I'm glad I didn't take that.
That's good. Yeah.
So we were 1-1 in that game, 3-2 on the weekend, 82. 68 and 2 on the season.
That's awesome.
Big money.
That's
14
huge.
over 500. And I was talking to Ray Stack last night, and he was like, I don't know, I don't gamble, but you found a way to figure something out. I'm like, I know, and we've kind of pigeonholed ourselves because we don't take any favorites, and and they like Stanford Steve and all these guys are making millions of dollars and they have losing records.
Yeah.
Look at old PTP Jimmy over here.
Give this guy a contract.
Give this guy some money.
Give him a microphone on ESPN, guys. Maybe you'll make some money for these people.
That's more than 57 full views.
With a winning record, you think we'd get a little bit more views.
Think.
I get it. If we were like, what is it, 12 and like 110 or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, nobody gives a shit what we have to say. Or you're right, like they would be going the opposite of us.
A winning record where we only take dogs, overs, and props, and we found a way to win 82 of those games,
Yeah.
and only lose 68. Doing all right.
Yep.
I'm proud of myself.
You should be, man. That's
Very,
awesome.
very smart boy. 44-year-old boy. I won't. We'll end this show before I turn 45 in March.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm still 44. Just
There you
living
go.
this 44 life.
Yep. Until next season, you'll be 44.
Cha cha cha. Exactly. I'll be 45 season 2. And Sammy's pick 9 and 1. We are back to 500.
Back to 500.
And I want you to take more than one bet for the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. I got a lot of time to do some research.
We're going to do a prop show. The next episode, we'll probably do a prop show for every episode until the final finale episode, which we're going to do a live show, we think.
Yeah.
I'm going to set that up tonight. And then the early Super Bowl line.
Okay.
We will talk about it. Currently, it's been moving around a little bit. Currently, it's Chiefs plus 1.5, total 47.5.
Yeah, 'cause when I looked last night, it was 1.
What do you think?
Oof.
I mean, how do you go? My thing is they wanted Taylor to get there, right?
Yeah.
But the Niners are a pretty good team. Their defense is still good. They're not as good without D'Amico Ryans running the defense. They're not as good, but they're still pretty good. How do you not
it's
take the
tough.
Chiefs?
It's tough because San Francisco did look good, but they also played against a team that had like a meltdown. Mm-hmm. If Detroit played as good the second half as first half, I mean they should have won.
Yeah.
It's really hard to not take the Chiefs after watching last weekend.
If you have a points taken podcast and all you do is take underdogs, totals, and props, and the Chiefs is looking at you plus 1.5, and they've been in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, you got to take the Chiefs.
I think you're right.
Mahomes versus Brock Purdy, you take Mahomes out every day.
Yeah.
It seems simple, and then we're going to do a million props.
Yeah, I love it.
Heads, tails, whatever the hell we're going to do. How long is that national anthem going to be?
The Taylor Swift over-under views.
What's Taylor Swift's, bra, color, strap, whatever, we'll take it. And I got all that change. It was going to be like, yeah, I won that because I wanted to have a little stack for the Super Bowl so I could do a bunch of these things, and I got it now. So we're good to go. And then, the last episode, we were like, oh, it's every penny. I got it like a small car.
We were going to party and not anymore.
We're going to do some things. The money's. And I have a losing record now for the season. Like we're 14 games over 500. Can't blow it now.
No.
We got 1 game left. I will definitely bet in the 20s of bets.
Yeah.
So I could have a losing record. I feel like we should freeze this like 82, 68, and 2.
Just sit in the moment.
And then I'll get the 1 bet. So we'll either be 83, 68 or 82, 69. And 2. And then, but nah, that's not the way we roll.
Nah.
So yeah, we'll talk more about that. And let's have a little more beer, and we got to talk about Vincent K. McMahon.
All right.
Sammy, what else is in the news?
Well, Vince McMahon has resigned from WWE after being accused of abuse, sexual assault, and sex trafficking in a lawsuit.
Okay, normally we do, 2 pieces of news, maybe 3. We're only doing 1 today. I cannot get enough of this story and how twisted it is.
It's one of those stories like I'm disgusted with it, but I can't stop reading about it.
Yeah, and honestly, like I want your opinion on this because you're a weirdo.
Yeah. Thanks.
But there's a lot of weird sex stuff in here.
Yeah.
And I want your opinion on what is fair game, and what is too far.
Okay.
So Janelle Grant, here she is, Janelle Grant, a former employee here. Nice looking girl.
Very attractive.
Yeah, everybody was. Wait till you hear what she did. She was with this gentleman, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Little, kind of like in a movie where you're like, oh yeah, that guy's a vampire.
Yeah, he's very sitting in his lair.
Yeah.
In his dungeon.
Right, and he's like corporate vampire.
Corporate vampire. I will suck the money away.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is what is he was doing this like Waluigi Is that Waluigi there?
There's like
that
an
mustache?
it looks like isn't it Salvador Dali? He kinda
There's a
looks
little.
like-
If he twisted it in the top, it'd be
Yeah,
Dolly. With like,
but I'm sorry. Well, first off, I don't like mustaches, but that thin mustache I don't think ever looks good.
no.
I've never even seen anybody with a thin mustache, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I could do that.
He almost likes to be the villain. I mean, they show there's all these old clips where he's like Hulk Hogan's like got him on a lie detector, and he's like, I am not a pervert, and it goes Buzz, wrong.
In terms of the storylines, he's a great bad guy.
He's a great bad guy.
Great bad guy.
He created the $1 Million Man,
Okay.
Ted DiBiase. He wanted a character called the $1 Million Man to basically demean the hell out of people, and then threw $100 bills on them. And Ted DiBiase played the role perfectly.
Yeah.
But that's what Vince wanted. He's like, I should do that. So then he loved it, and then he's like, I want to get into it. So then he got into wrestling. Here's what he eventually looked like when he was just lifting, no steroids involved.
No, this is totally natural, for sure.
I mean, he's pretty goddamn strong there. I'll give him credit. And he's like 74 here in this
That's in
picture.
his 70s.
He's 74 here.
He looks better than most 20-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah. I'm 30 years younger than him in this picture, and not looking like that. So
And I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm nowhere near that.
yeah, so he's but to be that way,
Yeah.
you got to be a little screwball.
Yes.
So anyway, Janelle Grant got this job, and he was like, from what I read, it's basically like, you're going to be my girlfriend. Vince is married. He's like, you're going to be my girlfriend. So they get a little kinky.
Okay.
They get into some stuff. And then he's like, she has no limits. She's wild. I'm going to share her with, like, my director of talent, this guy, John Laurinaitis. You remember the Road Warriors?
Yeah.
Animal and Hawk? Well, Animal was named Joe Laurinaitis. So this is his brother,
Got it.
John.
Okay.
So John was more on the business side, not the wrestling side. So John is also kind of known for being a creep and being a weirdo. And they have like the wrestling, like, they used to have the managers, Miss Elizabeth and Sensational Sherry and all this stuff, but then they got the divas in there, which were like these athletes, but were also like knockout, like beautiful women.
Yeah.
So then Vince, got like a hold of that. He's like, well, I'll be the guy that they, I harass them, and he was doing stuff on camera with them, and there was all this like innuendo and blah blah blah. I mean, it was beyond innuendo. It was pretty blatant.
In your face, yeah.
Yeah, it was like smoking a cigar and doing like a Clinton impression kind of thing. But Vince shared Janelle Grant with friends, employees, anyone who was interested. Showed pictures to people on the crew, and then texted her and said, "I showed pictures of you to everybody, and they said you were hot, and I want them to all line up and have a go with you." Did all these things, and the text messages came out, said, I want, I guess this episode's off the rails anyway.
Yeah, let's go with it.
He wanted her to be, what was the game? What's in your mouth? But wanted it.
Who's in my
Who's in your mouth? But he was very specific about the race of the people that he wanted her to be with, and the pigment. So there's some race play in there. There's very overtly sexual stuff. But yeah, I said it's going to tie her up and just let everyone have a... And then she's like, okay, babe, no big deal. And now she's suing him. But the worst thing that came out, she's in a threesome with Vince and John Laurinaitis. And Vince allegedly was done on his end. He's like, I'm good. And defecated on her head. And then with feces in her hair, made her and John finish for like another half hour or something.
Oh my god,
What
that's so gross.
One of my friends, I don't know if she wants me to name it, but she made a really funny joke. She's like, if that's your thing, fine, but put that towards the end.
Yeah.
Maybe make that the finale.
That's definitely the grand finale.
Yeah. So
Everybody gets in the shower afterwards.
yeah, I was laughing. That's a pretty good joke. I don't know if Liz wants me to tell me that was Liz's joke, but that was Liz's joke.
That is a good joke, Lee.
She's like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to be disgusting, like, put that at the end.
Yeah.
Go with that. Yeah. So Vince's wife finds out. Linda McMahon finds out. And no way the first time that has happened, by the way. That she's like, oh, God, how many more millions? So she's like, Linda's a pretty good businesswoman. So she's like, okay, we can't get the brand like the company is most important, and the McMahon's always talking about that company, company. So the woman starts going crazy, Janelle Grant, and she's like, "This is too much. You've demeaned me, this stuff." So they give her $3 million, and she signs a non-disclosure agreement. And then they only paid her $1 million. So a scorned woman who's had poop in her hair is not going to go quietly.
She's got too much on you. Just pay her.
But he almost wants the world to know that he's this guy.
He does like attention.
He's got some sociopathy in him.
He has that, the bad news is still good news type thing.
Yeah.
As long as he's in the news, he's like a Gotti mentality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, put me in the news, it's fine.
Yeah. So he resigned, but he says, claims the allegations are baseless and he looks forward to clearing his name.
Baseless, huh?
Baseless? He's got text messages.
Yeah.
So
You were there.
She found a lawyer, and the lawyer basically says the NDA is invalid because sex trafficking was involved. And it seems like they have a case with that. And the lawyer says, Miss Grant, like she's so classy. Miss Grant will need lifelong treatment for the pain and suffering caused by McMahon. But here's the thing. I read the text. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get enough of them. They were so horrible.
I did not read them.
And they're on Twitter. They're on X. Treat yourself. And the only reason that it kind of tickles you or is interesting because I feel like, yes, if there's a victim in here, is it her? Probably. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not Vince.
No.
But she signed up for this. She knew what she was getting into.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my opinion on that. Like, there's no limits if it's completely consensual. Like, you
Totally
can do,
consensual.
as an adult, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if it gets into, like, she did it because it's his boss and she was worried she was gonna, like, if she said no, he'd come back at her, that's still a victim.
If it's a power play, but do that before you start having group sex with him and the talent director.
Yeah.
And then the moment someone drops a deuce on your head, Vince Deuce McMahon doing that to her, I'm going to call him Deuce forever.
I like the Vince Deuce McMahon.
Vince Deuce McMahon, he's a junior, so that's a deuce. So Deuce does that to her, and then she's like, fine, I'll finish this situation. Isn't that your out? Like, she continued with that. Have you ever done anything to, like, a woman that wasn't that bad, and they're mad at you for, like, a week?
I've never done anything like that.
No, not that. But something very, like, you showed up 5 minutes late for a date or something.
Yeah.
You showed up, I was waiting, I was all by myself. Like, they give you all this stuff. Like, she should have been, like, made a bigger fuss over that.
I like that.
That was too much. I knew I was going to say that. So phony. But she should have been screaming bloody murder the moment it went too far. And apparently it was not a few incidences. It was, like, every day. So.
What, every day he was dropping Tootsie Rolls on her?
No, it wasn't dropping Tootsie Rolls on her. But he was saying, like, you're gonna be my sex slave basically every day.
Yeah.
And when I'm not with you, you're going to my friends and you're going to people that support the WWE, and you're going to anybody that basically I want. It was a very degrading, disgusting thing. And she was like, "Sure, babe." Mm-hmm. She calls him babe after he says all these things.
I think this is where it's gonna get ugly in court because there are girls that are into that, right? Like,
right.
You go to a motorcycle club. I got friends in a motorcycle club. They pass their girls around, and the girls love it.
What club? What is this?
It's a motorcycle club.
Motorcycle.
Like a motorcycle gang, club though. So they're gonna have to find out, like, was she truly into it, and now she's just trying to make a money grab, or did she feel forced into it? And that's where it's gonna get ugly. Is trying to prove that, and everything that she's done in the past that makes her look like a slut, it's gonna come out.
Yeah, it's true.
They're gonna do everything they can to make her look like the worst human being in the world.
It's not gonna take much because they have the messages.
Yeah.
She did, these sex acts. If you want to call them horrific, if you want to call them whatever. But she certainly wasn't saying, "You're my boss, how dare you?" Yeah. And she's 43. I think she was 41 when their affair started. But she's not 22. Mm-hmm. Like, she's a grown woman. She's a year younger than this guy, and this guy knows you don't let Deuce near you.
Yeah, I can't think of a reason I'd ever need a Deuce near me.
You don't need Deuce. Like, you're like, ugh, and now I'm going to finish this?
If Vince tried to sit next to me in a plane, I'd be worried he's going to, like, Deuce in the plane at that moment. Like, at that point, get away.
I think Vince is so interesting, and I wanted like a 12-part documentary on him like they did The Last Dance, because he did so much for the wrestling business. But now hearing this,
Well, look. Okay, first up, that was him in his 70s. He's been invincible his whole life.
Yeah.
He's had this massive, millionaire, billionaire career. No one could touch him. He felt invincible, and then he finally pooped in a girl's hair, and it came crashing down.
I know.
That was the limit.
I don't even like telling that story. It's so horrible.
It's bad.
It's so horrible.
So bad.
Oh, God, it's the worst. So I think Vince is 100% wrong, but I think Janelle Grant is like 96% wrong. I mean,
96. I don't know all the facts to say 96. That might be a 50-50 right now.
50-50?
Because who knows? Like, what if she did feel pressured but was scared to say anything? I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what comes out.
I was with you until it was multiple times.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't she was having an affair with a married man. She was having an affair and allowing this married man to demean her, degrade her,
Yeah.
do horrible, disgusting things to her. And she said, when's the next time I can do this again?
Yeah. I mean, she put herself in a bad spot. For
You know, he promised her like a big job and like a longevity in her career and everything.
But here's the I'm not going to make the sputter. Vince is a dirty old man.
Oh, he's filthy.
That is like the main story here. He is a dirty, dirty old man.
But he admits it. And is Linda McMahon a saint or is she a crazy person?
I think at this point, they're still together, right?
They're still together.
I mean, maybe it's the money thing. She's just with him because he's a cash cow. Like, you do whatever you want. Fine. You want to... Maybe she's like, no, you can't poop my hair. You got to find somebody else to do that.
But she's like a businesswoman and she's bright and she was appointed to
She was in politics or what?
she was in politics.
She's
And
very smart.
yeah.
She's
But
almost like Soprano's wife, right? Like, she kind
Yeah.
of reminds me of her a little bit.
We had her on the show. She
did, yeah.
She was very attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
She was very attractive.
Carmela was, yeah.
So Stephanie McMahon is his daughter.
Yep.
He's got I think he's got a son and a daughter.
Shane O'Mac.
It's just Shane, right?
Shane and Stephanie. Yeah. As far as I know,
And Shane doesn't really have as much to do with it anymore. I think
He
there was
used to. He was a big part of it before.
Yeah, but he
And
kind
so
of
was she.
disappeared, and I don't know if he knew what he knows. But Stephanie's always super loyal, and she's
Yeah.
like, "That's my father, and he's this, and blah blah blah." But I saw her in an interview. I can't remember what it was for. I think it was about Vince though, and she was like, she said, "I would do almost anything for the company, but my father would do anything for the company."
Yeah.
And I guess he pitched a storyline where he and Stephanie start having an incestuous affair. And she goes, "That's where I drew the line."
That's
I
a
said,
rough
"I'm
one.
not making out with my father on camera."
Yeah, that's a rough one. That, Vince, I'm sorry. You were going on the head for that one.
Come on.
Yeah.
I got 3 daughters. There's a line. There's a line.
Your crowd isn't like the most sophisticated crowd, I get it, but even that crowd would be like,
But that's like a crime. Like incest is a crime. You know, like you're not.
I think it's only a crime in some states.
No, it's a bit right. I mean, I went to the school where I went to college, right?
It was legal where you went to college.
It's part of the.
It's actually suggested.
Yeah, it's a suggested activity. It's but I just think that there's that's a sick mind.
It is.
That
No,
would,
it is.
that would do anything like that, even if it's for acting and for a bit
It is.
with your own child.
Like, you would do anything for your show, but you would never.
Oh, come on.
Never do that.
I don't even like to have the kids on camera because I
No.
think maybe they'd be, somebody would be mean to them or
Yeah,
something.
like, he's got some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason a lot of these people are successful. They just think very differently than most human beings, but he's just sick.
There's egomaniac.
Yeah.
It just gets to your head, and the steroids don't help.
No.
They're not like a 74-year-old man that jacked. He's got some problems.
Yeah.
So, Vince, good luck.
Yeah, thanks for the story.
I liked you a lot more before I heard this. Because he was so good. He was
He was the best bad guy.
He was the best bad guy, and he was a legendary innovator of the business.
Yes.
He combined all of the territories. He put it on the TV. He got it done, and nobody did it better.
Because I think he was a big part of all the big personas that came out. I think he was part of a lot of that.
Yeah, him and the writing team.
He helped out with The Undertaker.
Yes.
So he was very innovative. You're right.
Yeah, a lot of the writers on there, they do impressions of him all the time. But he came up with a few stinkers. Again, he came up with a few bad ideas. But he listened to some guys, and his father created Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his father created. He's like, this guy's named Hulk Hogan, and we're going to put him to the top. And then he bought his father out, and then he started buying up other territories and other businesses and turned it into the multi-billion-dollar machine it is. So, great businessman, not a great husband, a little bit of a shady father, and a bit of a bad employer for some of the ladies in his
Yeah,
business.
HR dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, they did.
Whereas the human resources team would just missed on that one.
Yeah, I mean, if Janelle Grant was threatened, and it seems like he was probably saying later on, like, you're gonna lose your job.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. So that's completely inappropriate, and that's a power thing, and that's certainly. But the text messages say that she was more than interested. So, well, that's the Vince McMahon segment. We've
Wow.
talked too long, but boy, was that something.
Wow.
And there'll be more. I can't wait to talk about more.
Ugh, yeah, we'll follow this story.
We'll follow this story. Thanks for watching. We're going to talk about props. We got a couple shows left. Season 1 has been so much fun.
It has been.
Sammy's alive. Had a couple of beers. Had a great time. We will see you on probably Wednesday night for the Thursday show. Thank you very much. We'll see you then.